Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here today just to talk a little bit about this upcoming OnePlus Nord. Now I have here the OnePlus 8 Pro, and honestly at this point I feel there's so much that we know about this upcoming OnePlus Nord, which will be a new entrant in the OnePlus 2020 series. I have not seen a more hyped phone in a long time than this OnePlus Nord, and with it just recently announced in the launch date of July 21st, we won't have to wait very long to know everything we do about this phone. Now we pretty much have the specs down on this OnePlus Nord. 6.5-inch display, 90 Hz, Snapdragon 765G, a 4,300 mAh battery, very sleek and gorgeous looks just like this OnePlus 8 Pro, and a triple camera setup on the back with a 64 megapixel main sensor and a dual front-facing 32 megapixel main and 8 megapixel ultra wide, which means it's going to have that dreaded double punch hole that I'm not a fan of. Even beyond this OnePlus 8 Pro, which will have a similar look to the OnePlus Nord, there was one phone that I reviewed earlier this year that the more I looked at these specs, I said, wow, this is actually very, very similar to the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G. And if you haven't seen my review of that phone, go and check it out. It was an incredible phone at the time, and I did call it my blueprint for what I hoped a great mid-range phone would be in 2020. And at that time, I was predicting that that phone was going to become a rebranded OnePlus 8 or a OnePlus 8 Lite, which would allow OnePlus to target the mid-range segment that they have since moved away from with releases like this OnePlus 8 Pro. Well, that is exactly what I think this OnePlus Nord represents, and there's no better phone they could have picked than that Oppo Reno 3 Pro as a rubric for what to build in a great mid-range phone. And there's so many specs that they have in common. 6.5-inch display, 90 Hz AMOLED, check. Snapdragon 765G, check. 32 megapixel main front camera, check. 4,000 plus mAh battery, check. Although I think the OnePlus Nord is going to be a little bit larger, and that's a good thing. 30-watt fast charging, check. Sleek, gorgeous design, check. In fact, one of the things that I really loved about that Oppo Reno 3 Pro was the weight. Unlike this OnePlus 8 Pro, which is tipping the scale at close to 200 grams, that Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G weighed in at 171 grams. And I remember distinctly thinking that was the perfect weight of a phone. It was probably the most comfortable phone in terms of dimensions and weight that I've tested this year. Unlike this OnePlus 8 Pro, which I feel is just a little bit cumbersome and a little bit large for some people. Now, eventually I got rid of that Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G, and there was nothing really wrong with it. I kept it for 3 weeks, and mostly just because I wanted to continue reviewing more phones, then I went back to the store. But the last thing I wanted to mention about that Oppo Reno 3 Pro, unlike this OnePlus 8 Pro, which came in at $900 when it was introduced, that Oppo Reno 3 Pro was priced at around $500. And I do think that in 6 months from that release, you could definitely get those specs and that exact phone for under $500. So let's hope that that becomes true when it comes to OnePlus Nord pricing. Now, Pete Lau has stated the phone will come under $500. What could that mean? We could be talking about $499. That is below $500, but that would be, I think, a price a lot of you guys would not be as happy about. Now, I don't think it's going to come in at $300. That would be just a ridiculous price point. It would be almost Poco F1 levels of madness and hysteria on the internet. It would be insane. And that's why I predict that this OnePlus Nord is going to be priced at $399, or just around 30,000 Indian rupees. I think that would be a very solid price point for the base variant of that phone. And at this point, the OnePlus Nord has been so hyped up, almost overhyped to this point, that they need to nail the pricing to really make it a success. But we're just a couple weeks away now, guys, so let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. But hit me up in the comments. Are you still excited about OnePlus Nord, or do you feel it's a bit overhyped? And do you think it's going to be similar to that Oppo Reno 3 Pro that I reviewed earlier this year? Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for future updates. A number of exciting phones here on the channel coming up. Stay tuned, guys. And I'm testing this beast of a phone right now. It is doing its battery test. It is going very well. I will keep you posted on that. So that's it, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.